Did your audio kick off really quickly there?
I think it worked all right.
Yeah, it was weird. Like listening to the jam and guitars going on, and all of a sudden, like tick, it cuts off like a second and a half too early for me.
Oh, no, all good.
So yeah, here in Nebraska, it's like 78 degrees. So I kind of lost track of time, and Skip's like, "Hey, are we meeting for the live event?" I'm like, "Oh crap." Okay, everybody watches it recorded anyways, so not a big deal.
No, it's at 1 o'clock, man. We gotta do it at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. I failed today. The good news is, like, for those of you out there who are Ninja users, I have been building up and improving upon Skip's already built Windows 10 smart rules. And so one of the things I would love to get from everyone is what are like some standard things you would like to know about your inventory? And if you can email me like, hey, could you give me a smart rule that shows me all PCs that are older than 5 years? Okay, cool. I'll build it for you and I'll put it into the templates, or Skip will, or somebody will.
Yep.
And then you just have to download it. All you have to do is just apply it, and then you can find about, a ton of cash. And so feel free to email us and let us know. Right now I'm working on a Windows 10 migration one. Like, so if it has 64 gigabytes of space, if it has 4 gigabytes of memory, what are all the specs it needs that we can pull from your RMM? And so having that will help us just save you time. So what we want to be able to do is have enough smart rules. Like, oh, you just pick the one you want. Send it to. Oh, sure. Can't send it to coaching.
No. We're going to target you, man.
That's fine. I'll take them. I like working on the rules. I'm not SQL friendly, but with this, I can do the logic and I can figure it out pretty well. But the goal here is you should be able to like just ingest from your Ninja or from your PSA. So if you're a ConnectWide user, we will take config types. And then output projects. It's just basically printing money, people. Here, handle the to-do list to your sales team, and you're done. So
and the real value in this is we've got lots of great reports we can get out of our asset managers and RMMs and all that kind of good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just another great report, and you struggle to do anything with it. So what we've set up here is a workflow that allows you to automate and script some of these things out, but most specifically, they're going to land on your clients' roadmaps. And if you've heard me, especially been through any of our onboarding, I talk about you can have great meetings with your clients using just the roadmap feature in our platform. All right, there is tons of stuff that you can do there. So even reports and the budget module, all those other things aside, just having an active and collaborative roadmap that you can use with your clients just goes so far down the road about really getting in front of these, being proactive, aligning technology to their business needs. There's so much you can do on just that roadmap module alone. So This is a super simple and easy way to get the right things in front of your clients. Yeah, it's probably going to need a little bit of tweaking, but the great thing about that is you can do that live with your clients and allow them to contribute. So when you have this discussion, at the end of it, they feel like they've participated in this, and now they're bought in. It's not just your sales pitch, it's the solution that you and your client worked out together, and they're all bought in on it. So there's just lots of ways that this can really help identify these things that need to be done and then get them done with your clients.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shortcuts in our tool that saves you a lot of time. And we're really bad about just letting you guys know. We're doing better with the tool tips lately. Been better at like reaching out like, hey, look, did you know you could do this? Oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yep.
And so, especially with the smart rules are a great way for your engineers to develop something that answers questions automatically for salespeople. So your engineers, it's easy for them to glance at a list and say, oh, there's a Cisco device there. We need to get rid of that and replace it with a blah, blah, blah. What if you just create a smart rule so that anytime you see a Meraki Just make sure it's under 3 years old or under 7 years old.
Mhm.
Create those so that your engineer doesn't need to go on site anymore. Now your salesperson just clicks analyze and or run smart rules, and then they get all the answers. Like, here's all the gaps we have, and we'll take care of these for you because it's part of your gold package. Or, hey, here are things that are not part of your gold package. If you want us to take care of this, then let's get this on the roadmap. I'll bring an engineer in. We can discuss what this looks like over time. But it starts the conversation.
Yep, absolutely.
And so now we're here, and this event today is all about quarter one. What is it about quarter one? The thing that Skip and I notice all the time about quarter one is the fact that everybody says the words, I'll just get this done in quarter two. I'll kick it off to quarter two. Please revisit this in quarter two. I mean, everything from our existing members to prospects to even like people we're talking to just about random things. It's like, get back to me in quarter two or quarter three, which I, in my head, have started equating to, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going to change in a quarter? What's going to change in 90 days? I think we've gotten so used to saying 90 days or like next quarter because it puts it on an imaginary shelf. So you don't have to worry about it right now.
Yeah.
And it's a sign of immaturity when you say push out to quarter two. Now, if you say, hey, let me see if I can find time in quarter two. Looks like May 15th. We've got a free week there. Let's kick things off there because we'll have this done. That's maturity.
Yeah.
You want to show me somebody who's in firefighting mode. Let me talk to somebody who says, let's push out to Q2. It makes you sound smart, but it's really just a red flag of, I don't know what I'm doing the rest of this quarter. I'm too busy and I don't know why. Yeah.
And your methodology on that, if Q2 is the time frame to do it, then there should be a reason to do it. And if the reason is you're just too busy, then that's one of those key indicators that you're in firefighting mode. But if you can't say, well, I've got, this that is expected to end, in the last half of March, then that sets me up to start this in the first week of Q2. All right. Yeah. So that's a great process. But if it's just, 90 days, and you'll find yourself, unfortunately, we look at this and go, all right, next quarter, all right, 90 days, you push that out. And then what happens when you get there? Another 90 days, right? And you just keep pushing and keep pushing these down the road. So if you're going to make these decisions about, hey, we're going to do this in the future, it needs to have a reason. It needs to have a trigger so that you line them up. If not, it's just you kicking rocks. So, while that was fun when you were a kid, probably at some point, we got to have to decide, hey, we're not just going to kick rocks. We're actually going to get some stuff done. So plan these out. If Q2 is the time to do it, great, but know why. Because cool things happen, right? Yes, things are not always so cool. Something didn't go as planned. It pushes. But every once in a while, you'll look at something and go, all right, this actually shifted. This project got rerouted, or this project ended sooner. And now, since you have a reason, you can look at those things that you pushed out to Q2 and go, hey, we can now pull these in. And it's not just a matter of, oh, I'm, next week or next month, I'm just going to magically have more free time on my calendar and I can do this. That's not ever going to happen. Yeah. Or if it does, it's not a good situation. So you've got to be intentional about how you're planning these things out. Q2 may be the correct answer, but you need to know why it's the correct answer. For that old math deal, right? If Q2 is the answer, fine. You need to show your work. All right. Internally, you and your team show your work as to why Q2 is the right answer.
Yeah, I think that is I think it's a really good example. Is that you need to have a plan. You need to say why. Show your work. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should start offering up an October workshop. Like, look, get some time with Adam and I'll help you plan your next year. But you have to do it in October.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll say, I'm going to have a limited number of annual sessions available in October where Adam Walter, you bring your MSP's plan for the next year to me, and we're going to review it together in a session, and I'm going to show you where you're wrong, why your plan is not working.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens to a lot of you is you don't have a plan, or you think you have a plan and the plan doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I've got certain mechanics I use, and like I'm not a perfect project manager. I'm not a Six Sigma. I have a partial MBA under my belt. But what I have done is run a number of departments, and I have had a lot of success and failures that have taught me how to do different roadmaps so I get stuff done. And sometimes it's a loose roadmap, but like recently I just released my 2025 roadmap to my dev team.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got it sitting over here, and I've got no ops built in there. I've got breaks built in there. I've got different flows built in that help manage workload. And it's following agile principles because that's just what I know. But you can do anything similar. But what we need to do is look through your year and make sure there's a plan. And as we've said before, like even if the plan is loose, you might say in quarter one, I'm going to get this done. In quarter two, I'm going to get this done. And ask yourself why you're going to do it in those quarters. But then start looking at your year in tighter and tighter intervals. And if you watch my video on YouTube, there's one that's talk about cadence. Like, when do you want to know things are going wrong? Quarterly? Weekly, monthly, annually?
Yes.
That's when you do your planning sessions at that frequency. How often do you want to know things are going wrong?
Yep.
And I would be willing to sit down with people and say, why am I always in firefighting mode? All right, let's sit down and talk about this.
Yep.
You have to be honest with me, though. You have to show me your plan. I'll dig you out. I'm good at this. It's something that I can actually do. Why can't I get anything done? Why am I always behind? Why am I always in firefighting mode? Okay, let's talk this through. I'm willing to help you out here. But you've got to be brutally honest with me and say, okay, I have no plan. Yeah. All right, let's start step one. What do you want to do? I want to get out of firefighting mode. That's not a goal.
Yeah, no.
What do you want to do? And then we start there and we start mapping things out little by little. And then we start, talking about dropping balls. Which ball can you drop? Where do you want to go with this? Like, you're juggling all these things. And these things were great to juggle, but you kept adding in more and more and more. And now your juggling does not look good. You cannot focus on anything else. And that chainsaw is going to flip the wrong direction one of these days. And it's not going to be good. That's right. What do you want to get rid of? And so you're here at quarter one. What are all the things you're juggling right now? And if you're overwhelmed in quarter one, I've got news for you about quarter four.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you get worse.
Yep. Unless you change something. I want to comment on something about
life will correct you. Like, you'll lose clients and it will self-correct.
Yep. About that interval, there's something really important there, because that's kind of a common, theme. How often or how quickly do you want to know something is going wrong? Right. And we think about that with our business, right? We're being realistic. We're protecting our revenue. It takes a lot of work to get these deals up and running, and you want to make sure that you're maintaining that revenue. So that's a really good analogy. How soon do I want to know something's going bad? We all want to say right away, right? Because we want to protect that revenue. But what can you realistically do? Can you have weekly meetings? Probably so. But is that overkill for some clients? Probably so. All right. So there's a process that you can work through there to understand that. But there's also a flip side to that. And if we think about how we want to know, how quickly do we want to know things are going bad, we're protecting revenue, right? But the flip side of that is, how often do you want to know things are going well, right? Because when we know things are going well, now there's an opportunity to increase revenue. So I hear lots of MSPs going, my customers are great. They just call me when something's wrong. We're really responsive. We jump right on it. Okay. And that's great. You feel like you've got a good handle on the relationship, and you know that things are going well, all right, until they aren't. And then you're able to protect that revenue. But what are you missing? What's the money you're leaving on the table because you're not having the inverse of those. You're not having the positive conversations about what went really well. The business they closed, the new contract they secured as a company now is going to enable them to do more than they did last year.
Yep.
So if you're not part of that conversation, then there's just lots that doesn't go well from there, right? And we've all experienced that. Someone calls them, "Hey, yeah, we're opening a new office in 2 weeks. Can you help us fix this?" And we're cramming, hodgepodge solutions in, and it all would have gone so much better if we'd been involved earlier. So think about that in two ways. How soon do you want to know something is going bad? Right? That establishes a cadence. But at the same time, how often do you want to know things are going well?
Yeah.
Because that's going to establish growth.
If you want to feel super confident in your business, just don't hold yourself accountable. Don't ever look at what you're doing. Just keep running your business. And you will feel really confident because you're ignorant, because you're lazy.
Ignorance
you think that everything's going well until you actually look and go, that bank account's getting low. Or, oh, that client really isn't happy. You don't know they're happy because you're not talking to them. You can't tell if they're unhappy. You just assume that everything's fine. And eventually, like, oh my gosh, I did not see that client leaving. I did not know. And, when you talk about your roadmap, how do you want to know you're growing? Just don't set goals. That way you don't feel like you're ever missing them.
Yeah.
All these accountability metrics are why you're in firefighting mode all the time, because you never learn management principles and basic growth strategies. And so you assume everything's going well because you have enough money to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You assume everything's going well because you have work to do. You're acting like an employee. You're not acting like a person who runs a company. So you get to end of quarter one and you're just juggling things. You're getting work done, but you're falling behind.
Yeah.
You're just going from ticket to ticket to ticket. You're going from job to job to job.
Yep.
You're not anywhere different than you were last year. And you're fine with that because you don't realize how bad things really are.
Yeah.
And that is the lack of accountability. And if you want to shine a spotlight on that, get yourself a coach in any industry. I don't care.
Yeah.
Go to a BNI event and talk to another business owner. And be honest about how business is going, how you're running your company. And that's how you get ahead. So end of quarter one is to a checkpoint. Are you behind? Are you ahead? And if you can't answer that question, you're ignorant.
Yep.
If you can't tell if you're behind or ahead, that means you didn't have a plan. You are essentially an employee who's just riding the waves of the economy, and they're going to take you wherever they're going to take you.
Yep.
You're not going anywhere because you're not aiming anything and you have no way to measure yourself. You're not holding yourself accountable. So if you can't tell if you're ahead or behind right now, like I can tell you right now, I'm behind. Like I expected to have 3 more releases done by the end of March, but we're just not quite there. There's good reasons for it, but I can tell you we're behind and how we're going to make it up.
Yeah. Well, and that
because
was
we have a plan.
When you said our 2025 roadmap, it's March, and we released that just recently to the devs. Why didn't we do that in January? Well, we had very specific things that needed to fall into place before we could do that. And we had the roadmap built, and we've been working on it, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, as soon as I get this done, then I'll release it to the devs. We've been sitting on the roadmap for months now, right? Waiting until the other things came into play that really made it work towards our ultimate plan for the end of the year, right? So these pushes are going to happen is what I'm getting at, right? We're going to have these issues where things come up. And if you're at the end now of Q1 and you're looking back and going, I thought I would have more done. Right? And you're looking at Q2 now. All right. And you're going, all right, well, there's all these things. I just gotta get it done. Find all of those elements that you thought you were going to get done in Q1 and map them into Q2. All right. We can't change the past, so let's work on the future. Map them into Q2, but show your work. Why am I going to do it at this time? What are my go, no-go points on doing this element? and then work those out. And you'll find that at the end of the Q2, you will have gotten a lot more done just simply because you sit down and set some dates. I'm going to do this because X, Y, and Z need to happen first, but I'm going to work those, and then you'll get there. So I think the end of Q1 is many times a kind of a stark wake up call for managers.
It should be
and leaders. It's like, wow, am I really on track? I thought we would be a lot further down the road than we are right now.
If the end of Q1 is not a wake up call for you, it's probably because you're not holding yourself accountable.
Yep.
And that's very comfortable. You're sitting in your Barca lounger, you're watching TV, and everything's comfortable. You can't see outside the tornado coming for your house.
Yeah.
You can't see that you have a water leak upstairs until it actually starts dripping on your head. You did not check your house.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these illustrations. I can go on and on all day, people. But in the end of the day, you got your eyes closed and you're not paying attention. You should hit the end of the quarter one and you should either feel ahead or behind. Mm-hmm. You'll never really feel. I don't think in my life I've ever felt on schedule at the end of quarter one. Quarter one is your wake up call to say, oh, I'm ahead. Cool. Let me give me some more breathing room for a couple more cycles. Maybe I can get ahead and get ahead on a project and do myself a favor by Q3 so I can go on vacation.
Yeah.
You should, or you say, oh, I'm behind. Let me look at my calendar and see if I can't move around a couple projects so that I can get these things done. Or I need to say, you know what? I'm just not going to get this done. It's not that important this year. I'll move it to next year and I'll get this done this year because it's really important. If I get this done, then I'm going to be able to do other things. It's like when development, we have to think like, okay, I have to have these 6 things in place before I can work on these 6 things. And I talk about this all the time in demos where like, hey, I want to get that feature done. Before I can get that done, I need to have these 3 tests done. So we know how this works at an MSP actually. Then we can put 5 more in place.
Mm-hmm.
And these are reasons why we're doing things. Or, hey, I don't have enough money for that dev request yet. We're an independent software firm.
Yeah.
I don't have a PE firm backing me up. And thank God I don't, because that allows us to make better decisions for you.
Yep.
And so these are all different things we talk about so that we can get things done at Humanize IT. Now, what are you doing at your MSP? At the end of quarter one, how do you know you're going to be in a better place by December? How do you know you're going to be in a better place by this time next year?
Yeah.
And if you can't answer that question, Skip already posted my email address. Reach out to me. Let's talk this through.
Yeah.
Get somebody, get one of your peer group members. Talk through your business plan. What do you want to get done? And it shouldn't be close more tickets.
Yeah. That's not gonna
all right. End of quarter one, people. That means that we're in quarter two. So that is April, May, June. So you'll have 90 more days to get yourself held accountable if you're not already, or to make up for lost time in January, or to reschedule things to get ahead for the last half of the year. And remember, this is the most productive half of the year you have. Quarter one, quarter two are the most productive quarters that you have. Because quarter three and quarter four are a crapshoot because of holidays and summer vacations and all sorts of stuff. So your year starts falling apart starting in quarter three. Never kick anything off until quarter three. Ever. So anyways, this is your quarter one warning. I hope everybody got something out of this. Reach out if you are struggling. I'm happy to help out. Been there, done that. Old hat IT here. Let's get you into a good place.
Yep.
Until then, we'll see you all next week. I don't even know what our event is. I'd have to look at the calendar. Oh, I got it over here. Next week is oh my gosh, we're starting with education focused MSPs. How to increase revenue for schools.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good timing as well.
Yep. Every year. Thank you. See you later.